Hi everybody. So if you've been watching all of the vlogs in this series, then you will hopefully by now have quite a lot of information about the choices that you've got to make over the next couple of months so that you have something to do after year 11. This vlog is basically helping you put all of that information together and just making sure that the decisions you're making are going to be the best ones for you. So the first thing I want you to just have a think about, hopefully answer yes to, and if you're not answering yes to it, then you need to be thinking a bit more, are the following 4 questions. The first thing I want you to have a think about are the subjects that you're considering, or the next steps that you're considering, do you know really what they're like? And that probably seems like a bit of a weird question, but I've worked with lots of young people who, in their head, they think a subject is a certain thing, and actually they don't necessarily go and do enough research to check that that is what it is going to be like. But certain subjects which that happens a lot with, one of them is psychology. Comes up in a lot of other areas as well. So if you've not been to open evenings, if you've not really spoken to teachers who will be the subject or delivering the subject to you, you need to make sure that you've done that. So do you have enough information? Do you really know what it is that you've signed yourself up to doing for the next couple of years? Second one, actually like the subject. Again, I've spoken with young people who are quite good at something, so they think that they should do it. And of course it does help to be good at something, but it's not the absolute most important thing. You really do need to be enjoying it. If you've not maybe enjoyed the subject very much at GCSE but have been quite good at it, really look at what the A-level or the BTEC or whatever it is that your qualification you're taking next. Make sure that it is going to be something you are going to enjoy, because if it's very similar to the GCSE, have a think about whether it's going to be the right subject for you, because there's no point in doing something that you don't like for another 2 years. Third thing that I want you to have a little think about is whether or not you're very good at that subject. Now, I'm not saying you have to be amazing at everything that you study further, but it really helps if you have an ability or some ability in the subject. If it's a new subject that you've not studied before, have a look at the kind of components of it. So is it an essay-based subject, or is it creative, or does it involve some STEM, science or maths? And think about whether you've got some skills in those subjects already. Because if you don't, it might be something that you can develop, but you don't want to be spending 2 years just really struggling. The last thing that I really want you to have a think about, and hopefully be able to answer yes to, is have you looked at whether the thing you're thinking about doing next connects to any future ideas you might have. So if you've got a job or a career or maybe a university degree that you're thinking, I'd really like to go and study that, or really like to go and work in that area, are the subjects or the pathway that you're thinking about doing next, are they going to set you up to be able to do that? Because I have come across lots of students before who maybe didn't think that through carefully enough, and at the end of their A-levels or their BTEC, they're then realising that they don't really have the right subjects to go on and do what they want to do. If you're really not sure what you want to do next, that's okay too, but just try and have a think about if there is anything that has interested you and whether or not the things that you're considering studying are going to keep open those options for you. So those are the 4 things that are really important for you to have a think about. So just some top tips from the other videos. If you're thinking vocational versus academic pathways, most people have a sense of which way they want to go, but if you're one that is really somebody who's really not sure, I would tend to recommend do an academic pathway first, because that's a lot harder to come back to afterwards. If you're studying STEM subjects, for example, and then you take a 2-year break from them, it can be very difficult to go back to it. So my general advice is go academic first and do A-levels, do BTECs, and then look at an apprenticeship or whatever. But it is a case-by-case thing, so it's really important to talk to a careers advisor. Thinking about where to study, make sure you visited open evenings, make sure you like it, make sure it offers courses that you prefer, and it's the right environment for you. Looking at what you're going to study, make sure you've looked at all different prospectuses, obviously gone to the open evenings. If you've spoken to teachers and students, that's also really important, especially if it's a subject that maybe you've never heard of, because don't discount those ones, because it might be the perfect subject for you. Last point is just some poor reasons for making choices, because sometimes that's what we end up doing. So if your friends or family or teachers are telling you to do something, it might still be the right thing, but it's not their decision, it's your decision. So make sure you've really thought about yourself. Don't choose it if it looks easy. Nothing is ever that easy. And also, don't just pick something because you don't know how to make a decision. Hopefully, if you've watched these vlogs, you'll feel that you're in a good position to make a good decision now. But also, you'll hopefully all be having an interview with a careers advisor this term, the autumn term. So if you haven't yet, make sure you ask your form tutor to put you in touch with your careers advisor. And as always, follow us on Instagram at GetZConfident. Take care, guys. See you soon.